He says Gaza is, quote, a huge concentration camp on the sand, if you will. You now fast forward to 2002. One of Israel's leading sociologists, his name was Baruch Kimmerling, he writes a little book. The little book is called Politicide. How does he describe Gaza? He describes Gaza as, quote, the biggest concentration camp ever. 2004, the head of Israel's National Security Council. His name is Giora Eiland. He's still around. He's active now behind the scenes in the Netanyahu government. How does he describe Gaza? He describes Gaza as a huge concentration camp. Now, bear in mind, this is before Israel imposed the blockade of Gaza. It was already a horror show. It's been a horror show since 1948. In 2006, Israel imposes a blockade on Gaza. It decides what goes in. It decides what goes out. It decides who goes in. It decides who goes out. They put Gaza on what they call a humanitarian minimum diet. You know what that meant? It meant they calculated, literally, we're not talking about hyperbole now, poetry. They calculated the caloric diet of everyone living in Gaza, and they admitted just enough food to avoid scenes of starvation. That was 2006. We're not talking about after October 7th. They prohibited baby chicks from going into Gaza. They prohibited chocolate from going into Gaza. They prohibited potato chips from going into Gaza. They prohibited condiments from going into Gaza. No cinnamon allowed in Gaza. Why? They wanted to create such intolerable conditions that the population of Gaza would overthrow the government that they elected. So that was Gaza. Now, you come to 2006, October 6th, okay? You come to 2006. The Economist magazine, which you know is not a flaming liberal magazine, it describes Gaza as, quote, a human rubbish heap. The leading UN official on Gaza describes it as, quote, a toxic dump. 60% of the young people in Gaza, the people who burst the gates of Gaza on October 7th, 60% of them are unemployed. All they have to look forward to when they get up each morning is to pace the perimeter of this tiny parcel of land, 26 miles long, the length of a marathon, 5 miles wide. That was Gaza. It was exactly what the UN official said, exactly what Al Gore's father said, exactly what the head of the Israeli National Security Council said. They languished in, and they were destined to die in a concentration camp. It was like an elephant burial ground, really. And when I struggled after October 7th, I've said this many times, but it's a fact. It's not a drama point. You know, what happened October 7th was awful. There's no doubt in my mind about that. The magnitude was significant.